Let's face it, sex with your wife would fix everything. For her to open up to you completely again, this is the ultimate sign she trusts you and wants you back. And yet, I know there are so many other things that are more of a priority for you. I mean, getting her to let go of the past, trusting that your changes are legitimate, to have her open her heart to you again with compassionate love and respect. But what if I told you that if you had the ability to become intimate with your wife, it's like skipping all those previous levels to unlock the top level, which then again, in turn, makes every other thing automatically become achieved. She would say to herself, why would I have sex with my husband if all these things weren't true? So in the next few minutes, I'm gonna show you the 5-phrase framework to pass her tests and skip the levels towards physical intimacy again. I'm gonna walk you through my 5 stages framework from separation to sexual solution. I like alliteration if you can't tell. Now, this is the same framework that thousands of my clients use to restore their marriages from the brink of divorce. Let's jump right into stage number 1, which is negative sentiment. Oh, by the way, at the end of this video, I will give you an in-depth video on the breakdown of the 5 stages. I'm not gonna go into depth about them, so stay tuned for the end of this video for that. It's gonna tell you how to accurately assess what stage you're in and additional rules to know on what actions to take throughout each stage. Now, if you haven't seen me use this scale before, I use it to resemble the emotions that your wife has towards you. In negative sentiment in stage 1, the negative feelings towards you far outweigh any of the positive, okay? And no matter what you do by trying to make things positive again, just all the resentment here, it makes her completely apathetic or numb to anything you do. Now, for each of these stages in this video, I'm just gonna go over the biggest mistakes you can make that's gonna keep you in the stage you're at, and then the action you could take to start to shift the scale in the other direction to go through the stages. Now, the first biggest mistake that you can make that's just gonna add more negative weight to the negative side of the scale in her mind, in her heart toward you, is to beg, is to plead, is to try to convince and use logic, is to say, what about all these beautiful memories we had together? What about when you said you would love me forever? You looked at me in the eyes. What about our wedding vows? What about the kids? What about all the memories? What about all the future plans that we have together? You're just throwing things on the other side because it is forceful, it is manipulative, and it's coming from a place of low value. And she's just confirming in her head, like, wow, I made the right decision. Now you can easily stop that. Now, the one thing I can't give you that I wish I could is the second biggest mistake. And that is to lose hope, to lose the belief that it's possible to save the marriage. This is why we give plenty of testimonial examples from hundreds of clients in every situation. Guys that the wife was with another man, in love with another man, engaged to another man. I don't care what your situation is. We've heard it before, we've seen it, and we've saved that marriage plenty of times over. So if you don't have hope, I can give you like this immaculate vehicle with the perfect tools, the perfect engine, everything is perfect. But what I cannot give you with that vehicle to take you towards marriage salvation, marriage reconciliation, is the gas. That is your hope. So if you have any part of your voice, a whisper even, believing that it's possible, if you're listening to me right now, I know you have that voice in your head. Lean into that voice, feed it. Increase your confidence that it is possible, because that's gonna get you through the obstacles that are inevitably gonna rise. Now, the one action that you must take in negative resentment. A lot of guys in this phase, again, they're in panic, and so they're gonna try to do things to save their marriage. They're gonna try to take actions towards their wife. None of that's gonna work in this stage. If you're in this stage where she is apathetic towards you, she wants space, separation, no contact, give it to her. And also the action you're gonna take during this phase is creating emotional wisdom. Now, wisdom is a memory without emotion. And even though you're the one that's fighting for the marriage, I know she's hurt you. She's betrayed you. There's a part of you that's saying, how could you, after everything we've been through, how could you do this to me? How could you do this to our family? How could you be so selfish? I get that that voice is there. It should be. I understand it. Accept that voice is there and then learn to calm it, to soothe it, to find a new perspective in order to let that go. See, if you don't forgive her, and let's say you go through all the stages and you get her back, but this time, because you have that anger and you haven't forgiven her fully, you're gonna self-sabotage. And this time when you ruin it, you say something or do something because you have all that anger there, all that pain that you didn't work through, you're gonna lose her for good. I want you to imagine that you were gonna go outside and get some coffee. I have a Starbucks across the street. Who doesn't, right? I'm gonna go get a nice cup of coffee before I recorded this video. And I get my cup of coffee and I'm looking at my phone, reviewing the script, and I see someone walking towards me. Of course they notice me, right? But then they bump into me and I spill all the coffee over my brand new shirt that I bought just for you in this recording. Now I'm pissed, I'm furious. And I look at the man on the floor. Of course he got knocked over. I'm big, right? I'm 6'4", 210 pounds. I see him on the floor and he's going like this with his hands on the concrete. And he grabs some black glasses and a walking cane. What happens to my heart there? It immediately softens. He's blind. He didn't see me. I'm the a-hole, right? I should have saw him, a blind man walking toward me. I help him up and I forgive him immediately because he did not see. And I know in the situation with your wife, it's easy for you to say, she knows what she's doing. She knows how much she's hurt me. She knows what she's doing is wrong. You have to understand when we are in fight or flight, when we're stressed out, it literally blinds our prefrontal cortex, our ability to see other people's perspective. We are so focused on the self. We are in survival mode. We only think about the self, and we are ignorant to how our actions affect others. That is how your wife is right now. You must understand she is the blind woman. She hurt you, but she is not aware of it. And so you must forgive her first. You must lead in the relationship and release that resentment. And through the law of reciprocity, by you forgiving her, you soften, and therefore she will soften as well. And you'll lead to stage number 2. So stage number 2, it's gonna look pretty similar to stage number 1. I'm not gonna lie. See, even though I put a lot of weight here, it hasn't shifted yet. And a lot of men, they get confused. They're like, oh, I don't see any benefits yet. I don't see her opening up yet. They rush things, okay? And that's one of the biggest mistakes that you can make, is to rush things. It's one of the mistakes here. But what's gonna happen, this is actually progress. A lot of men think it's not. But when she starts unloading on you, when she starts venting all this anger, all this pain, she's vomiting her poison of holding it in all these years, it's a good thing because she feels safe enough to express her emotions towards you. That is a good sign. If she's expressing her pain and her anger, that is a good thing. Because the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. She was indifferent in stage 1. Now she's actually expressing anger to you. And so you must recognize that is a step forward in the right direction. And a lot of men, I'll double down on that mistake, is they think because she's unloading on them, they're actually going backwards, right? But no, the opposite is true. You're making progress if she is expressing if you're someone where she's expressing anger and pain and criticism towards you, have gratitude for that, okay? Now, the action to take to shift things towards stage 3, where things are balanced, this is known as extreme ownership. Look, your ego, it wants to say the same. It fights to say exactly the way it is. But if you say the same, you're gonna get the same results, aren't you? You cannot solve a problem with the same thinking that created it. Therefore, the marriage situation you have with her, if you don't change, if you don't fundamentally have a new perspective on situations, on your wife, on yourself, everything that happened, it's going to repeat. And one of the best ways to change yourself is to adopt extreme ownership. To look back at these past betrayals, these conflicts, and say, where was this 110% my fault? It is not an easy thing to do. A lesser man blames others. He becomes a victim. He says, well, my wife, if she was just this way, if she was raised this way, if her father was this, if she dealt with her trauma, she says she's avoidant. My wife, she's just masculine. She takes charge. I've heard it all before, all of it. At the end of the day, it's on you. And if you disagree with me, that's totally fine. I'm just telling you what works with thousands of men. It's gonna hurt to take full ownership, but you're gonna become a better man. And she is gonna feel safer around you for you owning everything that happened. When you do this enough, you release the resentment. You take extreme ownership for everything that happened. What's gonna happen next is you're gonna go to stage 3. We call this polarity pull. Well, the way you know you're here is that she's gonna be in her dual mind narrative. This is the concept I developed in which she has parts of herself. There's a part of her that completely believes that the marriage can be saved, that you are changing. There's that narrative. And the way that shows up, she's gonna have curiosity towards you. She's gonna make plans with you. She'll maybe flirt with you. She'll smile with you. That is the positive side. But then the next day or the next hour, the next breath, she may say, but I still want a divorce. And for a lot of men, this causes confusion. Like, how could you say one thing and do another? Welcome to the feminine, my man. Welcome to the life of a woman. Embrace it and understand that she is a mirror to you. And you can choose in those moments to understand her pain, to understand that she feels unsafe still, and to give that love and accept it, understand it, but not fight against it. And then when she shows the positive, you say to yourself, of course she loves me. Of course she's making plans with me. And this calls back to your self-worth. Because if you believe you're a man worth being with, you're gonna see the positive and believe it's truth, and therefore you're gonna reinforce it and make it grow. But if you have this lack of self-worth and believe that when she said that you're not the man for her, oh, maybe she's right, maybe I'm not good enough, that's gonna become true, isn't it? Now, the biggest mistake you can make here is to eat breadcrumbs. What do I mean by that? Well, it is a common example that I've seen countless times with the guys. If you watch every testimonial, you'll see a moment like this from the majority of them, where the wife is about to fully come back, but there's a massive boundary that she's gonna cross while coming back to you. As an example of the story, I remember Sean, one of our early clients in the program, he saved his marriage and his wife was seeing someone else, having an emotional affair with another guy. And she said, hey, I wanna go on this trip with you and the kids, it's gonna be great. And I'm really getting closer to you. And Sean said, well, I'm not going to unless you stop seeing that guy. You see, if Sean said, I will go on this trip with you, sure, I will accept the breadcrumbs you're giving me because I want scraps of your attention, even though you're doing something that violates my self-worth. She knows that. And so by you risking rejecting her and rejecting the marriage, but holding true to who you are and your values and you as a man and what you own and what you hold as respect, even though you may think it's gonna push her away, in fact, it does the opposite. This is one of the many tests that she gives you. Another example of this, let's say she's moved out. And then she says, hey, I just wanna let you know that I wanna move back in. But let's say she's not wearing the wedding ring. Now, this is a random example. I've never seen a story like this, but you say, yes, I would love to have you move back in, but I'm only gonna move back in if we are husband and wife, which means I need to see the wedding ring on your finger. This isn't control. This is what a boundary is. This maintains self-respect, because if she says no, you are risking losing her. And by doing that, it shows you are good without her, and therefore she comes back. Now, the way you kind of auto-correct these tests that she gives you is to know your boundaries, to know what your values are. We talk about this in the program a lot, which, by the way, if you want to set up a call with our team, to go to a strategy call, it's a free call. Make sure you're fully committed and emotionally invested, and we'll give you that call, okay? But oftentimes what led to the separation was your complacency, and you put her on a pedestal, okay? So the correction here is to focus more on yourself instead of getting her back. It is paradoxical in nature, but it's what works. David Data says, if a man prioritizes his relationship over his highest purpose, he weakens himself and cheats his woman of an authentic man. She's not looking for you to be nice, she's looking for you to be authentic. That is the things that she respects the most, and she can only be with you if she respects you. So to do this, you must start focusing on your own goals, your own process, instead of focusing so much on just getting her back, because that comes from a place of neediness, and that's what she rejects. Let me give you a little quiz in the middle of this video. Let's say your wife texts you and says one day that she is down to go to a family function with you and the kids. Okay, that you invited her to. She says she's down to go. You look forward to it all the week, and then last second, the day of, the morning of, she pulls the rug out and says she doesn't want to go anymore. Do you A, don't let it bother you and text her and say, not a big deal, take care? Do you B, set a boundary and say, hey, that's not okay. You made a promise to your children and you should come? Or C, do you tease her and say something like, and here I bought us VIP tickets because I thought you were gonna fall back in love with me again. Now, you need to know based on your situation on what the best thing to do is. This is why setting up a call with our team and joining the program is so important, okay? So there's no guesswork involved. Now, once you pass her test enough, you're focusing on the process of yourself over the outcome. Man, she's gonna start to respect you more, admire you, and you're gonna start to shift, well, right here into stage 4, which is projected reality. The best way that you can know you're in stage 4 is that she is accepting your influence. Now, here's some tests that you can actually play with her to see if you are in stage 4. If you tease her, does she take it personal and get mad, or does she tease you back and flirt with you? If you ask her to do a small favor, to grab something across the house for you and bring it to you, does she do that happily, or is she all upset, maybe make excuses why she can't do it? Now, these are examples that she's in projected reality. She's accepting your influence and she's wanting to be connected to you again. Now, the biggest mistake guys make here, they're getting so much progress with their wife. I call this the last stand. There is one final test she's gonna give you, oftentimes before you go to stage 5 of complete reconciliation and engagement of intimacy. And so what it looks like, I played Call of Duty. I don't know if you ever played Call of Duty. And it's like when you die, you have like a couple seconds before you get revived and you're like on your gun and you're shooting. It's called the last stand. Well, her protector, that voice in her head that's been pushing you away that says there's no hope, all that, it's diminishing, but it's on its last stand. So what it's gonna do before it completely goes away and she feels completely safe with you again, it's gonna give you a massive test. It's gonna cause a huge fight. It's gonna seem like you went back to stage 1. This is a test that you must understand and you must pass. It is a protector's last stand, its last breath. And if you pass it by using the correct framework that you understand that we teach you, what's gonna happen is that she's gonna feel completely safe and that protector is gonna go away in the meantime. And you're gonna go to stage 5. Now, the action you take here is pretty straightforward. This is when you completely start to make moves on her, okay? You take her on dates, you try to go for intimacy, right? You flirt with her, you tease her, you try to set up these passionate nights together. And again, another biggest mistake is a lot of guys, if they get rejected, they get completely defeated, right? You must deal with rejection in a way where it doesn't faze you, it doesn't bother you. Go for what you want, invite her to these great things. If she doesn't come, water off a duck's back. It's okay. It doesn't mean she rejected you. She just rejected the moment, and that is fine. If you do this enough, eventually, if you follow all the steps I talked to you about so far, you're gonna lead into complete intimacy engagement, where you guys are completely reconciled. Everything is passionate, harmonious. You guys are in a deeper level of intimacy than you've ever been in before because you've done the work, because you've changed. And when the man changes, when he takes the lead, he does something different, he gets different results. Now, the number one mistake you can make here is hubris, is believing that you're good, that you are fine for the rest of your life. This is the complacency trap that led you here in the first place with your wife when things started to fall apart. You get back to where you're at, you must stay involved in a community or just keep it top of mind all the time in order to be in that relationship, because relationships are like a plant. It's not like a check mark, you're done. It's like, okay, I built this house, now it's good. It's like, no, every single day you must water that plant. You must give it sunlight. You must talk to it and love on it to help it grow. The same thing is true with your wife. You must give her daily affection, love, security, respect. Help her be seen and validated, everything she needs to feel safe with you. And if you do that, if you water her, she will bloom the most beautiful flowers in the world that you originally were drawn to in the first place that made you fall in love with her, okay? Thanks for watching the video. Here's the 5 stages video, a deeper breakdown of them. Here's also a testimonial video with a client that really saved his marriage. It's a beautiful call, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.